Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I just left a live chat on the channel Chris Watts Revelation and the Reckoning, where I took notes because the creator of the channel, Kim, hasn't posted any of her lives yet. So, just in case she doesn't post this one, I wanted to share the information with you. Now, I know some of my viewers are not interested in hearing about the Chris Watts case, but judging from the number of views I get on my videos discussing the case, plenty of people do want to hear about it. So, I will be sharing information about the case on my channel here and there. And to the people who think they're so brilliant, leaving a comment along the lines of, "You're only doing this for the views," I say this: of course I am. All YouTube creators do. What would be the point of doing YouTube videos if nobody's going to watch them? You think you're so smart, but you just sound stupid saying something like that. We don't make YouTube videos so we have something to sit around and watch on a Friday night when we're bored. So, if you want to sound like an ass in my comments, it's a free country, but I won't waste time responding. I won't post it or respond to stupidity. My time is too valuable. So, I'm sharing Chris Watts' case info for the people who want to see it. If I'm not offering any value by doing my videos, then there's no point, and there are obviously many people who find value in the information I provide. One more thing before I begin. If you start seeing ads on my videos, I apologize in advance. YouTube just issued new terms and conditions stating it's going to start putting ads on videos, even on channels that aren't monetized. My channel is not monetized, so this may affect my videos. If it does, please know it's not me, it's YouTube, and I have no control over it. Okay, now on to the good stuff. So, just so you know, I don't think I caught the live stream from the very beginning. I think I may have missed a few minutes right at the beginning. Kim started talking about Chris filing a 35C from prison to try to get his day in court. She said that Chris does not currently have an attorney and that his family is in the process of looking for one for him. Apparently, he doesn't need to pose a new theory about his case in the 35C filing. All he has to do is fight what he was charged with. She said Chris has not filed the 35C yet, but he plans to in the next few months, and they will announce it after he is filed. Chris definitely wants his day in court, and Kim feels he has every right to exercise every option he is given in prison. She said that everyone has the right to due process. Now, I know he gave all that up when he offered up his confession and took the blame for all the murders. I'm not agreeing with Kim. I'm just sharing what was said on her live. So, please do me the favor of remembering that when you watch this video. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you things that she said that might piss you off. But it's not me saying it, it's Kim. You all were very cool and intelligent in my comments the last time I shared her information with you, and I'd appreciate it if it could go well again this time. If you take issue with something I tell you she says everyone is welcome to email her with any questions you want to ask her. Her email is the number 4, chriswatts@gmail.com. She also said, if you want to ask Chris any questions, you can send them to her and she will ask him. Then she will give us his answers in a future video. Now, I know most of my viewers already know this, but if you're serious about getting your question answered, then ask a constructive one. General questions like, why did you kill your family, aren't going to get you any answers, because Chris says he didn't kill his whole family, only Shanann. So, you may want to put some thought into your questions and how you pose them before you email her, or you may just get ignored. She's offering everyone an excellent opportunity to pose questions directly to Chris Watts and to receive direct answers from him. It's not often that you get a chance like that, so you may want to consider taking advantage of it. Now, when Kim went live, she said she just got off a Zoom call with Chris. When asked if she could play the Zoom call for all to hear, she said the prison does not allow her to record her Zoom calls with Chris for sharing. But she did say that Chris said he wants to make a statement to be read to us in an upcoming video. Kim claims he's frustrated with all the fake information being reported in the news, and he wants to make a statement about it. Kim claims to be one of only 5 people who Chris calls on a weekly basis, and only one of 3 that he Zoom calls. She claims she is not Nicole Kessinger, and that she is just involved because she believes many of Chris's constitutional rights were violated in this case. And before you call BS on what I just said, she said she receives a lot of emails from people who say they also believe his constitutional rights have been violated. Now, whether that's true or not, I can't say. But she did play a voicemail recording of Chris trying to call her from prison to prove that he does call her. And in the voicemail, he referred to himself as Christopher. Now for the meat and potatoes. She was asked why Chris's family didn't give this information to a lawyer first instead of presenting it on YouTube. She responded, "Waiting to iron things out in court due to fake news, it will be too late." Chris and his family want to get the truth out without waiting. She said it took Scott Peterson 15 years to get back into court and possibly get a new trial. Then she explained that Chris taking the plea bargain was brilliant, in her opinion, because now he can file the 35C and get right back into court. Kim claims this case is not over. Chris wants to go back to court to possibly get a reduced sentence, but also because he wants to be sentenced for the crimes he says he committed, not for killing his children. As he stated before, he claims Shanann killed the girls, and he killed Shanann. He doesn't think he should be sentenced to time for killing the girls and Nico. He claims he did not drug Shanann with oxy. He also told her he didn't want his family gone. He said he adjusted his work schedule to accommodate their separation prior to the murders. She was asked why Chris confessed to killing the girls if he didn't do it. Kim did not answer the question, but said it's obvious he didn't kill the girls because his second confession doesn't match with the autopsy evidence. Now, Kim claims that the injuries shown in the autopsies are consistent with Chris's first confession to Tammy and Coder in the squad room confession, not the second jailhouse interview in Wisconsin. This is the premise for their whole argument. Chris, his family, and Kim all claim that Chris was telling the truth in his first squad room confession and that he hasn't changed his story. I know, you're all going, what? Let me break it down for you. According to Chris, this is how it all went down. Remember, this is according to Chris, not me. I'm just telling you what he said, allegedly. So don't shoot the messenger. Okay. Chris says Shanann killed the girls, so he killed her. He did not call the police because he panicked because he killed Shanann. So he backed his truck into the driveway, loaded the bodies in, and drove to his work site. He wasn't trying to hide anything because he did it out in the open, knowing his neighbor had a security camera pointing in his direction. Kim said if he wanted to hide what he was doing, he could have put them in Shanann's car instead, because it was in the garage where no one would see him, and it had tinted windows. But he didn't. She said she believes he was in shock because it made no sense to dispose of their bodies at his work site. But because people experiencing trauma often freeze and can't think, she said, she thinks he didn't know what he was doing. Chris agrees with her. He claims that the murders were not planned, and he didn't know what to do. He said he didn't have a plan, so he just put them in his truck and drove to work. He said he didn't plan on disposing of their bodies the way he did. He told Kim the only thing he knew was that he didn't want to put the girls near Shanann. But he didn't have time to dig additional graves for them. Kim claims the evidence shows Chris left their bodies in his truck while he worked until it started getting late and his co-workers were going to start showing up, so he quickly disposed of their bodies. To what evidence she's referring, I don't know. But she said the investigators on the case did a special on the Oxygen channel, and they stated that it appeared the bodies were disposed of in a quick fashion. Kim said Chris said he does not believe Shanann snapped that night. He said they had a very emotional discussion about separating and selling the house, and then she killed the kids. Kim claims the way Chris described the events as he said they occurred in his first confession are consistent with the injuries the girls and Shanann sustained according to the autopsies, including the manner in which he claims to have strangled Shanann. She said his claim about seeing Shanann's eyes filled with blood was not consistent with the autopsy and was not said in the first confession, only in the second. She said that Dr. Phil's claims that Chris brutally broke the girls' bones while shoving them into the oil tanks were not true and were also not consistent with the autopsy results. She said he made those claims for shock value during sweeps week. She was asked if Chris was planning on killing himself after the murders. She said when Chris was asked that question by investigators, he said yes. But she said she doesn't know why he said that when it wasn't consistent with the theory that he killed his family to be with his mistress. She admits that Chris lied a lot because he told investigators what they wanted to hear. Another thing she doesn't understand is why Chris tried to protect Shanann during his interrogation. Although she claims it was never her intention to vilify Shanann on her channel, it is a horrible situation all the way around, but it is what it is. She said when Chris was initially asked if Shanann hurt the girls, he said no. Then during a portion of the squad room interrogation that I guess we didn't get to see, Chris said Tammy started giving Chris different scenarios of other crimes where people killed their children to gauge his reaction. Kim said he didn't react to any until Tammy spoke of a scenario where a mother smothered her children to death. She said at that point, Chris reacted, asking why. Why would a mother do that? Kim says his reaction supports his pain over Shanann killing the girls. After hours of interrogation, Chris finally asked to speak with his dad, where he told him that he didn't want to protect Shanann anymore. Then he told Tammy and Graham that Shanann killed the girls and he killed her. Now, if you watch the squad room confession, you already know that Tammy asked him if Shanann did it and he was protecting her prior to his confession. But Chris claims that Tammy did not plant that idea in his head and that it's the truth. And Kim believes him because she says the way he described how Shanann killed the girls is supported by the autopsy results. She claims there's no way Chris could have jumped on Tammy's theory and came up with a story that matched their injuries in that short period of time. She also said that the squad room interview we saw was not correct. She claims the audio and video were not synced up properly, which made it look like something it wasn't. That's why she said she did the video on her channel, syncing it up properly, so we can see how it really went down. Now, Kim claims that after Chris confessed to killing Shanann only, Tammy drilled him hard about whether that was the story he really wanted to go out to the public, that Shanann had killed her girls. And even though Chris stuck to his story, Kim claims they went right to the media and said that Chris had killed his whole family. Now, I have to say that I disagree with her assessment here, because I specifically remember watching the news and hearing that Chris claimed Shanann killed the girls. I remember that being the case for a while, up until he shocked the hell out of everyone by confessing that he had killed them all. So, I don't think that part of her claim is true. She also claims that Chris said he learned about everything happening in the case at the same time we did. He claims he didn't know that the media was told he killed his whole family. Kim has stated many times that Chris claims the first he heard everyone believed he killed his whole family was when a reporter asked him why he killed his family as he was being escorted into the courtroom. He claims he never said he killed his whole family until he decided to take the plea bargain to save everyone the pain of enduring a trial. Kim claims the prosecution put all false information in their press packets and offered the gas station photos that were supposed to be of Chris stopping for breakfast after the murders as evidence. She says the man in the photos was not Chris, and the very thought that he would stop for breakfast after murdering his family was completely absurd. She said that they've been following Scott Peterson's case closely to see how his family handled the media because of all the lies that have been told about Chris and the case in the media. She says now they just want total transparency. Now, fast forward to the jailhouse confession in Wisconsin. Chris claims that he fabricated that confession for Tammy and Graham, and that his only true confession was his first squad room confession. He claims to have given that horrific confession to them because he said they weren't going to leave until they had something good to take back to the Ruseks. So, he gave it to them. He said it was a confession just for Tammy and Graham, and that he didn't know it was going to be recorded and released to the public. Kim says she believes him because his second confession wasn't consistent with the injuries shown in the autopsies. For example, she said Shanann couldn't have been on her back when Chris strangled her, as he claimed in his second confession, because the injuries she sustained weren't consistent with his story. Kim claims she was the first person to speak with Chris after that interview. She said he said it felt just like the first one, except he knew they weren't leaving until he gave them a good story. When asked if the prosecution can use his second confession against him in court, Kim says she hopes they try to use it against him because the evidence won't support it. She said that coupled with the fact that the DA has already changed his story since the case started, it will only help Chris. Now, this is a bit interesting. Chris claims the confession he gave to Sherilyn Cadle for her book wasn't true either. He said he wanted her to write a book about his testimony, but she insisted she wanted him to account for his second Wisconsin confession. So, he said he told her he knew she wouldn't write his testimony unless he confessed to doing it all. So he did. Kim said everyone wants to dismiss Chris's first confession and just go with the second, and they aren't considering the evidence. She also said that if she only knew about the case through the media, she would think as most of us do, that Chris killed them all. But she said we can't just look at the case through our own perspectives. We have to look at Chris and Shanann's backgrounds as well. When asked if shock made him call the girls' school and the realtor, she said it depends on how you want to look at it. She said it wasn't the first time he called the realtor. When asked about the song he sent to NK after disposing of the bodies, Chris said they had been sending music lyrics back and forth to each other prior to the murders, so he continued sending music to her. Someone asked if the girls were murdered prior to Shanann arriving home. Kim answered no, stating that the autopsy showed no blood pooling marks from them passing away earlier. She said the evidence only shows marbling on their stomachs. There was no blood pooling from laying in the same position for a long period of time, and Shanann only had marks from being in the ground. She said she welcomes any expert who believes Chris killed his girls to go on a panel with her to debate the evidence. So, if you just happen to be an expert who can shred her evidence. She said if the case goes to court, it would be argued whether Shanann had alcohol in her system that night or not. Chris still maintains that NK was not there the morning of the murders and claims not to know why her phone pinged in Frederick at the time. But he told Kim he has requested all records of the texts and communications involved in the case so he can try to find out and share it on the channel. When asked if Chris ever told her about the dark things he said NK was into, she said he told her because NK was a geologist, she was into crystals, rocks, and stones, and he thought it was dark at the time. She said she didn't think he understood much about crystals and things like that then, but now he does, so he doesn't think it's dark anymore. Then she said the pink crystal that was found under Bella's bed was Bella's. Chris said Shanann bought it for her a long time ago, and it usually sat on Bella's dresser. Many people asked Kim what she thought of Cindy Watts still loving Chris. She said that Cindy is a mother, and she has the right to love her child. When asked when she'd be opening comments on her videos again, she said she's not going to now because people are being too hateful. She said she can listen to opposing opinions, but people are just being hateful. She said too many people are asking her questions, but they don't really want answers. They just want to argue. Then people started acting extremely rude and like total asses in her chat, so she ended her live. And just think, we're all supposed to be adults. I guess until someone threatens our lives with an opposing opinion, huh?